We start with the backlash against the Republican Medicare kill. Howard Fineman is political editor for the Huffington Post, and David Corn is Washington bureau chief for Mother Jones Magazine. Both are MSNBC political analysts. Let me take a look. I want you both to see the latest footage. If you hold a town meeting today, you can be sure someone will have a cell phone. Someone will have a way of showing it to the world. Everything now goes viral. Here's Republican Congressman Lou Barletta. He was the anti-immigrant guy who got elected in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. Here he is facing angry constituents, not over illegal immigrants, but by the Republican effort to kill Medicare. Let's watch.
What you're doing with this Ryan budget is you're taking Medicare and you're changing it from a guaranteed health care system to one that is a voucher system where you throw seniors, I'm 64, you throw seniors on the mercy of for-profit insurance companies. The reason we have Medicare in the first place is because seniors couldn't get health insurance. People won't cover seniors for the lousy $15,000. You said nothing in the campaign about I'm going to change Medicare. Now you voted for a plan that will destroy Medicare.
Boy, she is good. Because she's totally informed. And by the way, that little pirouette she did when she turned around and started to the crowd like, I own this room. And she's basically saying, Lou Barletta, you ran against illegal immigrants. Fair enough. We elected you because we didn't like illegal immigrants. Next thing you know, you're voting with the Republicans like a lemming to kill our Medicare. These are, look, Pennsylvanians up in that part of the country are not rich people. They're working class, middle class people. But they're not going to head off to Florida and live in some big house somewhere. They're going to make it up there through the winter and all. And they need the Medicare.
Yeah, well, you know that.
Why is this guy voting with the party like a lemming?
That's Joe Biden's ancestral homeland up there in the Scranton, eastern Pennsylvania area. It's an older demographic, and the Democrats are going to target anybody at or near.
Well, it looks like those people are targeting the Republicans.
Yes, they definitely are. They definitely are, and I think you're going to see much more of that all around the country.
Howard, you and I have been in this business a long time.
Yes.
What moonshine did Barletta drink that got him to vote with the Republican vote to kill Medicare? They're not going to kill Social Security. Nobody's that nuts. Right. But you're pretty close to being nuts when you mess with Medicare. Yeah. The one program I've discovered everybody likes once they turn 65.
Yeah, and I can't answer it other than to say that ideology trumps political common sense in this case, because they are fixated on the idea that the route to salvation for the country and for them politically is to cut government spending. But that's not the popular or even necessarily the right way to do it. They don't.
Let me ask you this. They all have dodges now. We're going to get to Pat Meehan, the former U.S. attorney, who wishes he's still a U.S. attorney, by the way, I think, defending himself by saying, well, this is just a blueprint. Well, now the big dodge the Republicans have is, I voted for it, but that only affects people 55 or 54 and younger. And that woman apparently in that same exchange turned around and said, when he tried to defend himself, she said, but I care about my nieces and nephews. I don't want them screwed out of Medicare.
Well, more important than that, I mean, in that demographic, I worry, but also people have parents. And people who are 30 and 40 looking at their parents who may be 55 or 60 and heading in that direction, they don't want to worry about for-profit insurance taking care of their parents in the next 5-10 years. So it's not just 64.
Here's your Starbucks gift card. Go buy some insurance.
I mean, take
a look at the map. Here's what's going on. The Democrats aren't so stupid. Look, they got a map now. They're looking around the country where they lost the seats in just last November. This isn't 100 years war here. This is a few months ago. They got blown away in those races. Now they're already targeting those to get back, Howard.
Well, one of the keys is 5 of those on the map. I don't know if it shows that, but 5 of them are in Florida. 5 of the districts are in Florida. Not surprisingly.
Because?
Because of this senior demographic.
And they're the people with money.
They're the people with money, but they care about this. They believe in it philosophically. You've got Arizona, you got Iowa, you got Pennsylvania. That's what they're going after. And by the way, by trying to exempt the younger people also, it doesn't necessarily help the Republicans make their case, because what they're saying to the younger voters is, we're going to screw you. We're going to screw you. So if you look at who supports what across the board.
Now, the other thing about the map, there are 13 congressional districts where they elected Republicans in last November, but in 2008 and 2004 they voted for Barack Obama and John Kerry. That's half of the 25 they're going after. Barletta is in one of those districts. These are the people who should be running scared. These are Democratic-leaning or Democratic Democratic high registration districts where the people like Medicare, like Medicaid as well, and they don't like tax cuts for the rich. So they all should be worried about what's going to happen.
Okay, well, this splits both ways. Let's try to balance this out, this discussion. Look at me. You look at your cash situation, most Americans, and most people in the country don't live in cities. They drive cars. So a lot of your cash is going right into that pump right now.
Right.
You know, whether you're doing the card or you're paying the cash. $78 a pop.
Oh, yeah.
You're paying Supreme, you're paying regular a little less. Twice a week, you're getting killed over $100 in cash. So you're cash poor. Then you look at the value of your house. You thought it was worth $100K. You're getting close to retirement. That's your nest egg. That's only worth $70,000. So what's happening today is people are facing cash poverty and wealth poverty. What I thought I owned in the back pocket, I could go watch television, I think at least I own the house. I'm going to sell that to retire with. It ain't what it was. You're going to have a lot less money to go buy an apartment somewhere, a condo, wherever.
Hey, and their kids.
And then on top of that, your Medicare is getting screwed. It isn't going to cover you for your health.
And their kids are not getting good jobs. I mean, that's the other thing. So who do you blame? So the whole feeling of security.
Let's watch this guy. Here's a guy who got elected in Joe Sestak's district. You know this district.
Yes, I do.
It's right Delaware County. It's regular people. They're not a bunch of right-wing country folk. They're suburban people, inner, outer suburb. Here they are realizing the guy they elected because he's a clean U.S. prosecutor has been voting the Republican lemming line. Here he is trying to defend his vote. And here he is. Wait till you hear his defense. It's very interesting. A little too interesting. Here he is, Pat Meehan, defending his vote to cut Medicare.
If you voted to abolish Medicare, how will you explain that to people who are in their 50s, who are out of work, that they will have not the Medicare that I have?
You said in a comment that I voted to abolish Medicare, and that's factually wrong.
Well, how is that wrong?
Second, ma'am, let me answer the question,
I
please,
will.
and I'll talk to you. Thank you. All right. I voted for the Ryan plan. What Paul Ryan has put out is a blueprint, a sense of what we would like to do, a direction that we'd like to go in.
Do you think it helps just wearing a regular work shirt when it explains killing Medicare?
It doesn't. Yes. And to say it's a blueprint doesn't help either, because what does that mean? He doesn't explain what that means. And the more he tries to explain actually what he voted for, the deeper trouble he's in, because there's no way that the mathematics of the Ryan plan would result in anything other than the average retired person paying at least $5,000 or $6,000 more a year in the end. These are not numbers made up.
These are not suggested guidelines.
Yeah.
You know, for years, for the last year, we've heard that Paul Ryan has an integral, coherent plan to save the country. This is part of that. This is not sort of, well, let's have a committee and study whether we should do this. The Republicans are on record of ending Medicare and Medicaid as it exists now.
It's just like saying I voted to authorize the war, not to go to war.
It's even worse than that.
Well, the problem is there are numbers attached to it now, because the Congressional Budget Office and other sort of neutral umpires of this thing are saying there's no way that the vouchers that Paul Ryan would hand out would cover all the costs, and so people are going to have to absorb more of it themselves.
What does it mean?
Wait, the Republicans aren't really arguing with those numbers.
Let's take a look at his ad campaign. It's put together by a progressive group called Americans United for Change. It's launched an ad campaign, as I said, this week in 4 congressional districts at about $35,000 a pop. By the way, it's going after, in this case, Sean Duffy of Wisconsin. Let's watch the ad nailing the Republicans. Let's listen.
Sean Duffy looks like a nice young man, but on April 15th, he voted to end Medicare and its guaranteed health care benefits. Instead, he wants seniors to get coverage from private insurance companies. Under Duffy's plan, seniors' costs will go up over $6,000. Duffy wants to use that money to give millionaires a $200,000 tax break. Ending Medicare so millionaires can get another tax break? Really? Call Congressman Duffy and ask, what were you...
First of all, the voice of that person, she sounds like Betty White.
Yeah, okay. It is Betty White. No, I'm just kidding.
That's a granny. That's Betty White or Granny or Aunt Blabby or somebody saying, how dare that nice young man try to deny me my health care?
In other words, I liked his looks, but he's hurting me.
But guess what? The Republicans are acting like Republicans. They're squeezing the elderly and the poor to make room for tax cuts for the rich. I mean, this is a gift to the Democrats. And if they can't do ads like that across the country, they should lose their license.
What did we catch here? We caught 2 Republicans on the run. Yeah. One saying it was just a blueprint. What was the other one saying? Oh, it's only for 55 and younger. 50. So, Howard, the fact that they're already on the run, that they're playing dodgeball here. What's that tell the top Republicans in the House?
You asked initially why did they do it. I think there was a sort of group frenzy, a sort of group mentality. We got to do something for the Tea Party initially. We got to be with the Tea Party. And so they did it. This was the one thing that they felt they had to do. after the election.
Are they dead?
Well, they're going to run as fast as they can unless they can change the subject between now and
well, how do they
change
the fact they voted for this thing? They voted for it.
They can't change the fact. And this is an albatrous around their neck. They have a year and a half now to try to come up with something else.
It's a millstone around your neck. It's an albatross following you.
No. The ancient mariner wore the albatross as well.
Okay.
But this is a heavy burden for them to carry for the next year and a half, because anytime they talk about deficit, and they thought they had an advantage on Obama on the budget and the deficit and tax issues and all this stuff. Now he has a counter argument. Yeah, but this is what they want to do, and it's not going to go away.
Well, they have to change the argument back to the fact that the government's broke, and I don't know if they can do it.
Well,
they're going to try.
And the economy's
isn't it like Hollywood? This is high concept.
Yeah.
That part's high concept. The losing the Medicare money is not high concept. That's the problem for the Republicans.
That's right. Thank you. It's easy to understand the Democratic argument. Howard Fineman, David Corn, jumping on the Republican carcass objectively.